Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my drugstore contour routine. I am just demonstrating the steps to go from a foundation base to a cream contour all the way to powder contour. This is a very simple technique to follow, so if you're interested in seeing my contour routine, then just keep watching. There are multiple different types of contour you can use. The type that I'm going to be using today is the Wet n Wild Makeup Sticks, the contour shades. I have 3 of them. This is what they look like. I believe there are only 3 shades. So the colors that I have are 804A, Oaks on You, 805, which is Call Me Maple, and 806, Where's Walnut. So for my skin tone today, I'm going to be using Call Me Maple. You can also use things such as the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Contour. This is also a great product. It's very blendable. This is just a different form of contour, and it all really depends on what you would like to use. A final type of contour is using a deeper shade of concealer. I used to do this all the time until I discovered the Wet n Wild sticks. This one is the Maybelline New York Fit Me Concealer, and this is in the shade Deep. This works just as good. I just find that the sticks are a lot easier to use. So like I said, I'm going to be going in with the shade Call Me Maple. And as you can see, this is just a little stick, so it's going to be very easy to draw it on exactly where you want. Now, since I have a taller forehead, I like to conceal that, so instead of trying to narrow my face by contouring on the sides, I am going to contour more towards the top of my forehead near my hairline. So I'm just going to draw a couple lines. You can blend these out with a brush or a sponge. I tend to use a sponge, but you could also use a brush. I'm just going to take this Ulta Beauty sponge. This is damp, and I'm just going to blend that out. Feel free to add more product as necessary. I am just adding a tiny bit more towards my hairline. You want to make sure that you really blend this back into the hairline to make it look as natural as possible. I just find that it looks a lot more seamless and natural if you blend it back into your hairline. I am kind of pressing and sweeping my sponge. If you just dab, it's going to take a lot longer to blend out, but you also don't want to rub it because that will disturb the foundation underneath. Once you have that blended out, you can move on to your cheekbones. Now I have pretty high natural cheekbones, so I don't necessarily need to raise mine. I'm just going to contour right underneath so it kind of thins my face a little bit. If your cheekbones are not very prominent, you can go a little bit higher, and that will kind of give the illusion of more raised cheekbones. So what you're going to want to do is kind of create a line from the corner of your mouth up to about where the middle of your ear starts. So if I were to draw a line, it would look something like this. You don't want to draw a full line because that will be hard to blend out. So I start at the ear and just stop about halfway. That way when I blend out, I can blend it down a little bit and it's not super harsh. Another way to tell where you want to contour is to make a fish face and see where the hollows are. You can follow that if you're having some trouble finding where you should place the color. These don't need to be exactly even because once again we're going to be blending this all out, and you can kind of make them symmetrical then. So I'm just going to be taking my sponge again, and you're going to want to blend upwards with this. You don't want to take it downward because that will make it look muddy and not clean. So you want to keep it in the same area that it is, or even a little bit upwards to blend it out. I like to just pinch the bottom of my sponge to create sort of a flattened edge, and that way you can really get in there and concentrate where you want to blend. Once again, you really want to make sure you get back into that hairline by your ear because you don't want there to be a distinct line. Now, if you are trying to thin out your face a little bit more or make your face look more narrow, you can apply some contour right on your temples, and that will help to shrink the face a little bit. Now that we have applied the cream, you're going to want to go in with a powder and set that. I like using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is a great bronzer. It is not too orange, which is why I like it for contouring. The reason you want to set a cream is because if you leave it tacky, it can kind of rub off and smear around, and setting it with some sort of powder is really going to lock it into place. You don't have to use a bronzer. You could also use a translucent powder or a face powder, which will kind of give it a more natural appearance because it'll blend your foundation and concealer all in with the contour shade. But if you really want to enhance it, I would suggest using a bronzer or a cool toned contour shade. Okay guys, so that wraps up this contour routine video. If you don't want to use the cream products, feel free to just use these same techniques with powders only. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.